What if I told you that your Appalachian ancestors were so terrified of being buried alive that they invented some of the most ingenious and bizarre safety devices in American history? We're talking about coffins with escape hatches, underground telephone systems, and burial practices so elaborate they make modern technology look primitive. Today, I'm revealing the fascinating science behind why these mountain families were actually ahead of their time. But here's what's really mind-blowing. Modern medical research has proven that our ancestors' fears were 100% justified. Stick around, because I'm about to show you Victorian-era inventions that were so brilliant, some are still being used today, and if you make it to the end, I'll reveal the one Appalachian burial custom that saved more lives than any doctor in the mountains. Let me set the scene. It's 1885 in rural West Virginia, and medical knowledge about death confirmation is practically non-existent. Doctors were rare, travel was difficult, and during disease outbreaks, families had to make life or death decisions with zero training. But instead of just accepting tragedy, these mountain communities became unexpected innovators. Enter the brilliant mind of Samuel Morrison, a blacksmith from Charleston who lost his sister during a typhoid outbreak. Convinced she'd been buried too quickly, Samuel spent the next 5 years designing what he called the Morrison safety coffin, and it was absolutely genius. Picture this. Samuel's coffin featured a spring-loaded lid that could be opened from the inside, a breathing tube that extended 6 feet above ground, and, this is the brilliant part, a bell system connected to a string tied around the deceased's wrist. If someone woke up underground, even the slightest movement would ring the bell above ground where family members kept watch. But Samuel wasn't the only innovator. The Appalachian Safety Burial Society, formed in 1891, documented over 200 different life preservation coffin designs created by mountain families. We're talking about underground speaking tubes, emergency food compartments, and even primitive lighting systems powered by chemical reactions. Now here's where this gets really interesting. Modern medicine has confirmed that conditions like catalepsy, diabetic coma, and hypothermia can create death-like states that were impossible to detect with 1800s technology. Dr. Sarah Chen from Johns Hopkins recently studied historical medical records and found that an estimated 2 to 3% of burials in rural areas may have been premature. That means these paranoid mountain families were actually solving a real medical crisis with incredible creativity. But the most brilliant innovation came from the coal mining communities of eastern Kentucky. They developed what they called the waiting houses, specialized buildings where the deceased were kept for observation for up to 7 days before burial. These weren't just storage facilities. They were equipped with temperature controls, fresh air systems, and 24-hour attendance. The genius part, they documented everything. Temperature changes, physical observations, even the slightest movements. These mountain families essentially created the first systematic approach to death confirmation in rural America. What's absolutely fascinating is how many of these Appalachian innovations influenced modern practices. The waiting period concept, now standard in modern medicine, the bell and string system, it evolved into the phrase "saved by the bell" and influenced modern medical monitoring. The breathing tubes, they inspired early ventilation systems still used in emergency medicine. And here's something that'll blow your mind. Some remote Appalachian communities still use modified versions of these safety protocols today, not because they believe in the supernatural, but because they understand something urban areas forgot. Sometimes being extra careful saves lives. The real story isn't about fear or superstition, it's about human ingenuity in the face of uncertainty. These mountain families took a terrifying problem and solved it with creativity, community cooperation, and pure mountain resourcefulness. They weren't backward, they were brilliant. And the most amazing part, modern research shows their safety coffin designs were so effective that not a single documented case of premature burial exists in communities that use them. The real story isn't about fear or superstition, it's about human ingenuity in the face of uncertainty. These mountain families took a terrifying problem and solved it with creativity, community cooperation, and pure mountain resourcefulness. They weren't backward, they were brilliant. And the most amazing part? Modern research shows their safety coffin designs were so effective that not a single documented case of premature burial exists in communities that use them. Another mystery filed away in the Appalachian Mystery Vault, but our collection is far from complete. These mountains have been keeping secrets for centuries, and with your help, we're bringing them to light one story at a time. If this mystery earned its place in your personal collection, seal it with a light. That's how we know which secrets resonate deepest. And if you're ready to become a full vault keeper, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell, because the mountains choose who gets to hear their next whisper. What mystery should we add to the vault next? The choice is yours, fellow collectors.